Good evening, everybody. This is Nasira. I am the energy architect. And today we have Dina Legland, who's joining us from Southern California. And she's one of the authors in the book Women with Healing Gifts. Um, and today we're having her here to so that she could tell us about her story and what got her to write that story and what she's going to do next. So, Dina, would
Thank
you like to say
you.
something about yourself?
Sure. When I speak, it's funny because a lot of people know that I'm truly a New Yorker. I was born and raised on Long Island, New York, and it's almost 2 years that I moved down to Southern Florida, not California, Florida. And because when you say California, people are, that's 3 hours away, 3 hour
Okay.
difference, depends on where everybody is listening from. And I am a retired registered nurse and a retired EMT. I rode the ambulance for the local fire department for both nursing and EMT for 32 years.
Wow.
And today I am a certified health and life coach, and I'm known by my clients as the inner warrior coach. And I've really got into writing this chapter just by accident, to be honest with you. Somebody knew the person who asked me to write a chapter. And I ended up writing for Linda a chapter in 3 of her books. So this book is tells a story truly about my life, because the name of the chapter is Empathy, Nurture, Sensitivity, Protective Instinct. Are they a gift or a curse? And the reason I named it that is because that describes who I am. And I never truly embraced it until I hit my 40s and 50s, to be honest with you. I can remember far back as 5 years old when my sister was born, and I wanted to nurture her. I wanted to protect her. It was funny because I helped bathe her, feed her, change her. And when anybody came over, I would get in between them. Like, don't touch the baby. She's mine. you know,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
it's funny on how you do things like that. And then through childhood, like I helped take care of the kids in the neighborhood. I know that sounds a little strange, but I had a group of friends, and if we were playing outside and somebody got hurt, skinned their knee, I would clean them up, put a Band-Aid on them, and walk them back home and tell their mom and dad what happened. It was things like that. I always had this instinct of helping people,
Great.
nurturing people as far back as I could remember, without a doubt. It's funny because even growing up, elementary school, junior high school, I was very sensitive. I was always very sensitive to everything and anything. Like if you looked at me the wrong way, or, I was teased, by other kids, even family members, and I would cry at the drop of a
Mhm.
hat, you know? And I didn't realize that sensitivity was a gift, especially when I became a nurse. I never
Mhm.
lost that part of me, and my patients, family members, friends of the patient, they loved that. They felt like they were heard, because especially if somebody passed away or somebody was really, really sick, I would sit by their side and I would cry with them. I would laugh with them, cry with them. It didn't matter, and it was something that made them feel more comfortable.
Right.
And it's things like that that truly made me realize that this truly is my purpose, these gifts. And it also taught me to really take a look and see what I was most fearful of. I had a transformation when I was turning about 45 years old. And I lost a lot of weight. I lost like 110 pounds. My
Wow.
mom was very, very sick. And she handed me her do not resuscitate order. And I was like, being a nurse, especially a home care nurse and an EMT, I said, this is what's going to happen here. And she begged me, you have to change. You have to be able to take everything that you've learned over the years and change. You need to get healthy. You need to be around for your children, your husband, and so on and so on. And I did what I needed to do. I lost the weight, and it empowered me to look and see who I truly am. Because when I was standing in my mom's room that day, there was a mirror there, and I saw my reflection, and I said, oh boy, I look like the woman who's in the hospital bed, and I know I need to change. And another thing that truly taught me that these are gifts, not a curse, is when I got diagnosed in my early 50s. At 51, I got diagnosed with an aggressive form of breast cancer. And all I kept thinking about was, how am I going to tell my husband? How am I going to tell my daughters and family and friends? But how am I going to take care of everybody else?
Yeah.
This is what I did for a living. And I really had to stop and say, oh my goodness, Dina, you need to take care of yourself first and not feel guilty about it. You have to nurture yourself. You have to take care of yourself. Because what I was most afraid of was not being loved and judged, because I had to take care of myself first.
Mm.
And that came full circle to when I was 5 years old again, and
Yeah.
growing up through childhood, feeling not loved and judged. And this is the perception that we give ourselves.
Yeah.
But why does it take something so traumatic or so life-threatening for us to realize it? And that's what this chapter is about. It really made me stop and realize that it's not a curse. It is 100% a gift, and how now I can share it with everybody.
So that really was the catalyst
Mm-hmm.
that that brought the
Yeah.
attention back, the focus back to you, while you were actually
Right.
focusing on everybody else around you and taking
Yeah.
care of everybody.
Yeah. For years, you
You
know.
know, a lot of people, the conditioning is that, if you're too sensitive, you are this. If you're too dominating, you are this. And I see how you grew up thinking that your weakness, that this was your weakness, and it actually you realized like that was actually your superpower.
Yes.
And you kind of really you give yourself permission to be authentic, um and understand, like really deep down, that irrespective of what anybody else is saying,
Right.
um this is what I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. Is it easy? No, it's not easy. Change is hard. We get in that mode of, this is easy. This is what I'm used to.
Yeah.
It's very hard to look at yourself in the mirror or really take a look deep down inside and realize what is stopping you. Why do you feel so stuck? Why do you feel that you're not worthy? It's things like that you really have to ask the deep, thought-provoking questions about yourself. And that's what I did, not only through the transformation of losing the weight, but then again, when I got diagnosed. Because life is always changing. We're always evolving. We're always growing. There's a lot of things in life that cause us to take a step back or a step forward. We're all different. We're all unique. And that's what we have to realize. What serves us the most? What are our gifts? And can we share our gifts with the world to make this world a better place to live as well?
How do you think life changed for you after that switch of I'm going to love myself first?
I would say that I was happier. I don't take a lot of things too serious anymore. Nothing's perfect, whereas a lot of people want everything to be perfect.
Yeah.
The house is a mess right now. So what? The house is a mess right now. Okay. All right. There's a couple of dishes in the sink. Okay. Maybe the bed isn't made, or, you're working on a project for work and, you keep changing it because it's not perfect. Those kinds of things is just like progress over perfection.
Yeah.
Taking the small steps to realize how to change. And it's just one baby step at a time. When we sit here and say the what ifs, what if I do this, then this is going to happen. But what if I do that and then that happens? And then and then we just do the what if game.
Yeah.
And those fears still stay there. You still feel stuck. And it's like, how do we overcome it? How do we figure this out? It's things like that.
Dina, you mentioned fear a couple of times, and we spoke about you having a lot of fears and you deciding to overcome each and every one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, would you like to talk about, like, what fears you had and what did you do, to overcome? And
Yeah.
I can see why they call you the warrior, because you've come such a long way, and
Thank
uh,
you.
and that resilience, I can see that in you. So I was wondering if you could, tell us about these fears that you had and
Okay.
how you looked at it and overcame each and every one of them.
Right. My two major fears were not being loved and being judged.
Mhm.
And that's, like I said a little while ago, it stemmed from childhood. So I really had to stop and identify those two fears. And I would ask myself, how do I find the freedom from those fears? And what really truly is the cause? So I had to reflect on the major cause of the fear. And how do I truly understand it? And where's it coming from? So I identified the two. And then I realized I had to do a lot of soul searching, that I had to go back to childhood. I really was teased a lot. So anytime I wanted to speak or do something, I was afraid, is somebody going to judge that?
Mm.
If I don't help or if I don't take care of, they're not going to love me. So
Right.
I did everything for everybody. And it wasn't always a two-way street. It was a one-way street. I would give. People would take, and take. And I would be like, what is going on here? But I also discovered certain tools and strategies to get through and learn how to flip the switch with that and how to navigate through this fear. And it truly is. It's really some basic, simple things: eating healthy, working out, exercise, or whatever that looks like for everybody's different. I journaled my feelings and my emotions. I sat in silence. Okay, I meditated, and my meditation isn't long. It could be 2 minutes here, 5 minutes there. It's before I go to bed. I mean, it's not hours upon hours of meditation for me, but I can stop in the middle of the day when I'm starting to feel anxious and fearful, and I just breathe, and it calms me down. It's writing things down. you know um those are some simple things that I did. And what I've learned is that becomes what I celebrate now. I celebrate my resilience in learning those tools, and when my fears start to show up again, I know how to navigate them much quicker. Because when we allow our fears to take over and control us, it actually feels like it's sucking the life out of us. And it's not good physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. We can become ill.
Yeah.
We can get diseases and sicknesses and illnesses, and truly that process that I just explained is what I learned, especially when I went through my breast cancer journey. And that is what I call my 4 stages to conquer fear.
Wow. I'm getting goose flesh just listening to you.
Aww. You know what somebody told me when I say goose flesh, goosebumps, they say truth bumps.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But
So that is, this writing this chapter really made me stop and think about all of this all over again. And it's healing to me.
right.
It really is truly healing when we write down our feelings and our emotions and practice positive affirmations. You can let this
Yeah.
all go, but you have to talk positive to yourself. And being self-aware that this is even happening is really one of the first steps as well.
I can see how you've reflected it. The reflection has been so very deep and something that manifested itself physically. You actually went deep within. Okay,
Yes.
you really searched your soul. And I know it's not easy going back to your
Yeah.
childhood and thinking about what could have happened for me to have this kind of a mindset or this belief system. And
Right.
so, like, all the resources are in you, and you actually did go deep down and pull them, up. And,
Yes.
where you've actually healed yourself so much by just standing up for yourself, by just loving yourself, by just saying that none of that mattered and that you were enough.
Mm-hmm.
And when you
Yes.
embraced yourself, that love, that's what healed you. That love that you were actually giving everybody else, when you directed that towards you, you actually healed yourself as well.
Yes. Yes. And I honestly believe that both my daughters witnessed this transformation. And I honestly believe that children, and they're adults now, but I believe that children respond well and they learn from that, because both my daughters are like that, and at a very young age. They're in their late 20s. But when they were like school age to teenage to college, they had resilience. They had the self-love and the self-care, and they didn't let others, you know, kind of bring them down. They were able to stand on their own 2 feet. They were like, If you don't like me, that's okay. You don't have to like me. I'm
Yeah.
not worried about that. You know, if somebody said something they didn't like, they were like, okay, that's your opinion. And they move on.
Yeah.
You know, where I didn't do that. I was like, oh my gosh, they don't like me. Like, you know, I'm
And
being
everything's like
judged.
internalized.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
And then it
Exactly.
actually manifests itself okay, this is true to me, that when that
Mhm.
happened to me, like as a child, I became like such a crazy people pleaser that I kind of abandoned myself, which is similar to your story in that sense, because we abandon ourselves just to be connected to other people and to get that kind of validation from others.
Right.
And
When we don't need it.
we don't need it
We
actually.
truly don't need it.
Yeah. And
We
that's
have
like
to
that
validate ourselves.
exactly.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I would really like to congratulate you for how far you've come and
Thank
how
you.
strong you've been.
Thank you.
And, for you to completely disrupt yourself to go back to your roots, understand as to why all of this is happening and how you could, like, change everything for yourself. So I would really
Mhm.
like to congratulate you for that, for
Thank
inspiring
you.
so many people through your story.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Very kind words. Thank you.
Dina, there is a gift that you would like to give away to the viewers and people listening to us. So would you like to talk about that?
Yes. I would love, and what I'm going to be doing is giving a complimentary Conquer Your Fear discovery session, which is 45 to 60 minutes long. And if people want to reach out to me, you can go to my website, wellnesswarriorsforlife.com, and you can actually schedule that on there. It says book a discovery call. And also, if you want to send me an email, also on my website, you can do that. There's a contact page. But if listeners just want to reach out to me via email, my email is dina@wellnesswarriorsforlife.com. And if you also want to follow me on social media, I'm on LinkedIn, Dina Legland, and Facebook, Wellness Warriors for Life, and also Instagram, Wellness Warriors for Life.
I'm sure you're going to have a lot of followers. And also, this is not your first book, isn't it? You have
No.
you have a few more books to
Yes.
your
Yes.
credit.
This book is called Women with Healing Gifts, if I remember correctly,
Yes,
because
yeah.
there's been like a couple of books. And the second book that's coming out is Embracing the Impact of Cancer. That's the second book that's coming out. And the third book is, oh, what was it called? Let me think a second. It's called, excuse the French, but it's called Get Shit Done.
Ah, okay. Yeah, actually, yeah. Linda has
Yeah.
spoken about these books. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading your chapter and
Thank you.
learning a little bit more like from you, because this is so inspiring and you just give out so much of strength to everybody.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It was actually called, I believe it was called Action Takers Get Done.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Mm.
Dina, thank you so much for being here talking to us and sharing your story. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be they're going to try and reach out to you.
Oh,
And
thank you. Thank
and I
you.
just want to wish you all the best.
Thank you very much. But I just remembered two little things that I would love the audience to know.
Sure.
And the key is that you can conquer your fears. And what I love to say is take that word fear and turn it into feeling excited and ready for the next opportunity in your life.
That was so powerful. I love that message.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And also, the listeners can also, if you know somebody who is going through a cancer process or journey, whether it's breast cancer or another type of cancer. But right now, I have a support group called, excuse me. Oh my goodness. I just got a little tickle in my throat. The breast cancer prevention, the breast connection prevention plus healing group. And that is also on my website, along with a podcast that I just started with another woman called Heal Inside and Out, Real and Raw in Breast Cancer. And you can find that on, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, plus on my website as well. And I would just love for people that if they know somebody to just direct them there, because, we believe especially that we heal together in a community, and people listening to your podcast will feel the same way about what you're presenting and what you're doing as well. And I congratulate you for starting your podcast.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's been an honor. It's truly been an honor. And I take these opportunities as a blessing.
Thank you. Your words are very kind, and I feel very comforted hearing that and supported. Thank you.
Good.
What I do know is that I wish for you to use the superpower that you have, this superpower of empathy and compassion in your healing journey, because you definitely found your purpose and you were meant to change the world through that. This thing that you resisted your entire life, that's your superpower.
Yes. Yeah, it's very true. And that's what we need to realize, our gifts.
Dina, thank you so much for being part of this. I really appreciate you taking this time.
You're welcome.
And I'm going to be signing off now. I'm going to encourage everybody to read Dina's chapter. And if you know anybody who is going through cancer, and if they are if they need the support and the help, please reach out to Dina. And through her community, I'm sure that she can really give a lot of strength and support them emotionally and physically.
Yes.
So, yeah, this is the Energy Architect signing off, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.